Okay, here goes. Wait for the stream to kind of start up. How's it going? Are we live? Got to ask that question because I don't do this very often. Last time I did this was December 26th. Yo, CNX. Hey Brandon, how's it going? Give me some water here. Ryan, thank you. All right, so how's the audio? Audio okay? Volume's a little low, okay? Let me bump the gain up a little bit. It may be me, so let me adjust the gain. Okay, how about now? Is the audio better? A little louder, not too loud though? Okay, so I guess we'll call that good. Okay. Still good. I like still good. Still good is good. All right, I kind of want to stall a little bit just because I know catch-up is still going on for like another, I don't know, 10 minutes, so something like that, 10 or 20. But I'm also really kind of itching to get going on this printer because I've had it since Friday last week, and it's just been sitting here, and I've really been wanting to get into this. Hi, Mike. Oh, well, yeah. I hit the threshold, the magic threshold at YouTube. Over 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 view hours for the previous 12 months. So that, what's the best way to put it? My wife calls it monotonization. Put on a Ben Stein voice. I would like to announce that my channel has been monotonized. Thanks, Mike. I like the shirt. It's awesome. It's a really fancy shirt. And I'm pleased to announce that in the 5 days or so that the ads have been running, I've earned an estimated $4. Hey, Terry. And thank you, Mark. Okay, I need to move my window around a little bit so I can block the YouTube stream from my view because there's a little bit of a delay. Terry, you're like one of the only people that I would think would ever say, congratulations on having ads. All right, I'm going to switch cameras here because I've got a couple of other scenes set up here in OBS. So there's that one, and I can kind of wander over here a little bit. Am I in view? I'm in view. If I look there and I look over there, I can see chat, so that's not too bad. Hey Heath, I'm lagging. Like the audio or video is lagging, or what's lagging? Slight lag. Is the audio lagging behind the video? Hey, OneRaz. Hi, Chris Lane. Hi, Robert Karen. I hate laggy video. And quite frankly, I don't know what to do about it. Hang on. I have an idea. going to close some of the other stuff that's going on. I have to move this over here a little bit. Is that any better? Because I was also playing the stream back, and that may have been affecting it a little bit. Hello, Matt from Jake from State Farm. Hi, Kit. You will see me leaning off camera occasionally. I'm scrolling through the build instructions. Okay, so we've got good audio. Is the video any better? Because I was playing the stream back in a separate browser window, so I've stopped that. So maybe that was affecting my bandwidth a little bit. Maybe. Okay. All right. Well, lesson learned. Okay. Well. Okay. So I've got this Sovol SV01. I don't know. Techie Dad, did you put one of these together? Okay. I know Scott Worthington put one together. He had a, I don't think it was a live stream. I think it was just a video. Yeah, Sovol, it does sound Russian, but it's a Chinese printer. So, okay. Yeah, it was Scott. All right, so I got this thing, and I've been wanting to get into it because they want like $350 for it, but it's like $299 on Amazon, and it's like an Ender 3 Pro, but bigger. So they're both commies. So the build volume is supposed to be 280 by 240 by 300, where the Ender 3 Pro is like 220 by 220 by 250. So it's bigger. It's got a glass bed. It's got a Meanwell power supply like the Ender 3 Pro does. It's got dual Z motors, which is nice. One of the things that I don't like about the Ender 3 or the Ender 3 Pro is that when the Z motor is not energized, the X gantry can kind of sag down a little bit. It'll start moving down sometimes on its own. So I have legs, yes. Believe it or not. Was it you that said that, Jake, when I had done one of the videos in my garage? Yes, direct drive. Direct drive is one of the big things that I like about this too. So for, God, what's an Ender 3 Pro going for? Like $250, $260 or something on Amazon. So for 40 or 50 bucks more than an Ender 3 Pro, it's a bigger printer. So bigger, dual Z, direct drive. So the upgrades that you would want to do to an Ender 3 Pro are probably already done on this printer. So anyway, looks like Ketchup's got about 15 minutes to go, but I think I'm going to go ahead and start unboxing. So let me switch over to the little camera on a stick here so we can see inside the box. Da, 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 da. There we go. I'll pull this back a little. Yay! Ryan doesn't need another printer. Well, you know, want and need are two different things. Hello, John. Hey, Walter. How's it going? I'll lean in here. Hi, Walter. Let me scoot some of this over. You know what? I need to lock the wheels on this thing. Keep it from moving around. Country Club. Scoot the printer. This thing's big. All right, so we have ye old instructions, which I think how's the focus on this? Do I need to adjust that? I can't tell. Let me make this bigger. That's mostly in focus, isn't it? I think it's mostly in focus. All right, I'll set that down. Hey, look, we actually get filament and more than just 3 little loops. So that's a 200-gram spool of white PLA. That's actually quite generous of them, I think. By the way, just so y'all know, I got this at a discount, a reasonably significant discount, but it wasn't free. It was not free. I'm not a big enough channel to warrant free, but that's okay. I got a good deal and I'll take it. I'm going to get all this stuff out of the box. We'll look in here in just a minute. I need to get some of this packing material out of the way. Yeah, Robert, I will read you the story of the Sovol SV01. Ooh, that's got one of those kind of textured glass beds to it. I'll bring this over a little bit. It's kind of got a clear plastic sheet, but it's one of the ones that's got the little dot pattern on it. I don't know the name of that. The main board in the printer, Heath, if I remember correctly from glancing at the manual, it's a Creality 2.2 board. Because I want to say they've got a picture of the board in here. And if not in here, then at least in the PDF. Oh, there we go. There's the board. So that, according to that, is a... Where did that go? I know I saw Creality on there at one point. Maybe it's in the other manual, the PDF manual. But I want to say it was a Creality 2.2. So I don't think it's got silent steppers on it. It's probably just got the regular non-silent steppers. Get some of this packing material out of the way. Now this is going to be like a super simple build because the X and Z gantry thing is already all built. So it's going to be like putting together a monoprice Maker Select Plus, which is just you kind of take the tower and you bolt it to the base and you hook up the wires and you're done. So let me get this out of here. Got some wires over here. If I can get them to come out. Oh, you know what? Some of that stuff may still be attached. Is that still attached? I hope not. Let me rest this here. I need to investigate this situation over here. I bet this cable that goes to the extruder is hardwired in. I think it is. All right, let me see what else I got under some of this packing material, and I will keep this balanced. This is nice. I like dual Z. This out. Come on out. Okay. There's that. Let's see if I can do this without breaking anything. Okay. All right, printer. Come on. You can do it. You know, I have an idea. I'm going to set this over this direction a little bit. Maybe I can get it to where it's hanging out over here on the desk. That's not how I want it to go. All right. Bear with me. I'm not a pro at this sort of thing, so. There we go. Okay. The printer is free of the box, but I don't have enough hands. Hold on. I'm going to set this down here, just briefly. Bonk, bonk. There we go. This is what I get for having a small workbench. And I hope I've got everything out of the box. All right, so here comes the noise. Oh, wait. Do I have a printer down there? I kind of do. I'll put this down here just for a moment. As you can see, I have rehearsed this numerous times. Okay. There we go. Let's get some parts laid out. Set those there. Get this massive box out of the way. All right. Ow. Oh. A random screw. I guess we'll find out what that goes to. Okay. Let's rotate this around. Yeah, Chris, don't break, don't break, don't break. Okay. Now I've got a little bit more slack on the cables, which is good. All right, so there's that. All right, let's get the little manual here. Okay. Parts. We have parts. I'm going to set the filament aside because it will be in my way. I will set the screen off to the side briefly. I will need that soon. I have a box of goodies. I'll set that aside just for a moment while we get things somewhat organized. Okay. Let me zip back through chat real quick and see what we got. Because I know I've been missing a bunch of this while I've been fumbling around needing 4 arms to get this thing out of the box. So I've scrolled back about to the point where Mike says he's mostly here for the shirt and the cat. Well, I've got the door shut, so the cat is probably not going to be in here. John Strand is a Wham Bam user, as am I. As is Terry. Okay, I think I'm mostly caught up. Yes. Okay. I know I'm humming to myself. I'm sorry, Heath. I do that all the time. I also talk to the printers. Sometimes they listen. Most of the times they don't. If that is bothersome, I will endeavor to keep that to a minimum. All right. So the long and short of this story is you take the tall part and you put it on the flat part and you bolt it on. So I'm going to see if I can make that happen. Now I've built an Ender 3 Pro before, and that takes a while. Ooh, filament runout sensor. That lets me know if I run out of filament that it's time to run out and get more. I keep making that joke. I need to quit making that joke. This is the Z in-stop mount, US power cord, USB cable in a really nice blue, spool holder. Yes, Robert, it is dual Z, other piece of spool holder. Scraper. Tools, and zip ties, and stuff. All right, I'll set that over here. I can set the box aside. Mike, your printers probably don't care about the expletives. Okay. Wait, what's out of focus? This? The tall one? Probably even more out of focus now. Let me see if I can pull this back, get a bigger shot of the workbench. And I'm going to kind of tweak the focus. That's worse. That's better. That's worse. So right about there. How's that focus? Is that better? Let me get into the screw kit here. And I'm curious what that other screw was. It was kind of floating loose in the box. Got an SD card reader with an SD card, or micro SD. This would be the 4 bolts to put the upright on. Put that over here where you guys can see. I'm putting stuff over here and it's off camera. Sorry. Small spares bag, a couple of extra bolts, a couple of T-nuts, and a spare nozzle. Those can go off to the side for now. Okay, are we blurry again? It is kind of blurry, isn't it? But I know this isn't an autofocus. I got to turn the knob to focus it. Ah, not the whole camera, dummy, just the knob. Okay. So we're good now? Okay. I want to see what's in this big Ziploc. Something encased in cardboard. We'll see what that is in just a moment. There's an acupuncture needle for removing clogs, zip ties. Is that off camera too? There, now it's on camera. And a couple of tools. Got some ball end Allen wrenches, which I like really well. A couple of little wrenches. And a standard blade screwdriver. I'm sorry about the lag, y'all. Oh, so it is. Standard issue side cutters. Perfect for trimming zip ties and for cutting a little angle on the end of filament when you're going to load it. Oh, awesome, John. All right. Well, this should be fun. Let's see if we can get the bolts and stuff aligned. Get these things out of the way because they don't need to actively be on the workbench. Just kind of keep the bare minimum up here. See, if I was doing this up in the attic, I would have a lot more room. But then we would have to put up with the sound of my neighbor's dogs barking, and I would be sweating profusely. You don't want that. All right, these are the bolts that I need. Acupuncture needle, I think I will set aside. This I will set aside. Clank. There we go, tools. All right. That's the right Allen key for this. The rest of this can set aside. All right, well, this is the front of the printer over here. This is the back. This is going to go over here like this. Careful, careful, careful. So I will rotate all of this. Pick this up. Get that out of the way. Try and get this oriented so that it's all on the camera. And try not to pinch the wires while I'm at it. That would suck. All right. Oh, what fun. You can tell I'm a pro at this because I've got these shots all expertly framed. Not. All right, so we got pre-tapped extrusions here, which is nice. Don't have to go forcing screws through anything. See if I can get that started. There we go. Let's get a few turns on this and get the other side started. See if I can keep this balanced. Yeah, Jeremy, when they start getting this big, I think having it ride on a pair of rails instead of just a single extrusion might not be a bad idea. All right. Tighten this down a little bit more up here. I learned how to do this screwing in technique with my thumb from watching other YouTube videos. I think I need to tip this a little bit more frontwards, since I've kind of sort of got it lined up on both sides. I should be able to do like this. And then I can get these tightened up. See, Heath, I haven't heard of CTC. I'll have to look that up too. There's so many brands. Yeah, this one, actually I'm looking at it and it's set for 230. But that's okay because I'm at 110, so it really wouldn't do anything. Like it literally wouldn't do anything. I don't think it wouldn't even turn on. It's got a nice big power switch over on the side. I'll show that to you in a second. Let me finish tightening these down. Rotate this a little bit because I want to make sure I don't have any wires pinched in here. I don't think I do. That would suck to pinch a wire between a pair of extrusions. Hey, red light. Bonk. I want to get these snug, but I don't want to get them too tight. I don't want to strip the threads in the extrusions. Thanks, Vince. Thanks for putting your 2 cents in. All right, I'm going to switch the power supply over to 115 and set this thing up on its feet. Okay. So we got a couple of things that we need to hook up. We've got a Z motor here on this side, and it's got a nice little label on it. Maybe I can pull this stuff in now. Whee! And I'll refocus. Give me a second. Blurry, sharp, blurry, sharp. I don't know, is that okay? You may not be able to see that. It's got a nice little Z on it. Oh, guys, I don't know what to do about the lag. I don't really have any indicator on the cable modem. All right, well, let's see. Go ahead and plug these in. Okay. So there's my Z. Move this around a little bit. I need more light over here, don't I? It's Z, not Z. Z. You can say Z if you want to. All right, this is tall. This is probably the one for the run-out sensor. This is a little tangly back here with these wires. Let's get some things plugged in. So the X is already plugged in. This is my other Z right here. I'll kind of tuck this under. And get over to here. Oh wait, that's the Z end stop. That's not a motor. It's an end stop switch. Doesn't have enough wires for a motor. There's the Y motor and the Y end stop. I know what to do with those. I'll bring those under here and attach those back here. Turn this a little bit so you can see. So there's the Y end stop switch right there. Click. And the connector on the motor is on this side over here. So I'll get that plugged in. And I'll do it this way. There. Hey, JT. And hi, Jeremy. All right. This is my other Z motor right here. Like I said, these wires are a little bit tangly. There might be a better way to do this, but I don't know directly offhand what that might be. All right, so I got both Z motors plugged in. I've got the Y motor plugged in, the Y end stop plugged in, and we need to get the Z end stop attached. because it's not attached. And we still need to put the screen on too, and the filament sensor. And the spool holder. Let me pull this back. There we go. So, feels a little wobbly. Not the frame, just the way the feet are sitting on this table. There we go. Now the table's moving and not the machine. I get my Z in stop switch. There. Pull that down. There's my Z in stop switch. Sorry, the video's a little blown out, isn't it? Hi, Paul. How are you, Mr. Paul Cumber? I think I'll go ahead and put the thingy on there, the spool holder. Thought the spool holder was supposed to have some. All right, you know what? Watch, I need to put you. Oh, it's JT. I will like his tweet, but then I will put my watch in do not disturb mode so that it will not beep at us when fun things happen on Twitter. Now, spool holder. Supposed to have some M4x8s and some T-nuts for the spool holder. Oh, there they are. They're inside the big Ziploc. Well, John, I think the first thing that I'm going to print is the test file on the micro SD card, which I think is an XYZ cube. And while that is printing, I'm going to put together a profile for this printer in Prusa Slicer. And then I will probably slice and print a Calicat. Because a Benchy just takes too darned long. Although there is that contest thing for EARF 2019 to see who can print the fastest, best looking Benchy. Okay, which way does this go? This goes with the spool hanging off the back side. So let me get this tightened in. Get a slightly larger Allen key because I got a little one. All right, come on. That's too big. There we go, that one's just right. You know, Heath, I think the last RC car that I had that I really, really liked was a Team Associated RC10 back in the late 1980s. And I will say, I really liked that car. It did not have an electronic speed control. Video's frozen? This says I'm pushing plenty of video out. Man, why is this doing this to me? Let me see what I can find here. check my live dashboard, see what it says. Stream health is green. I don't know if it gives me anything better than that. I'm sorry about that, y'all. I blame my internet service provider. Okay. All right. Well, we've got that up. Well, that's wacky. Now it says it's offline. Now it says it's resumed. It's like it falls offline and it comes right back and the cable modem didn't reboot. So I don't know. Video output low. You can tell I do this a lot. Hey, Aaron. Aaron. Yeah, it says it's back, but it says the stream health is poor. Yeah, OBS is having some problems. All right. Sorry about that. Well, I guess it's time to put the screen on. I just need a better internet connection, don't I? Make sure that clears. Don't want that to run into anything. One RAS, hopefully never. I do not want to release the mystical blue smoke. Oh, come on out of there. You. There. Oh, I got my screen. Let's see if these are labeled. These little connectors for the screen. See if they're labeled EXP1 and EXP2. And they're not. You just kind of have to guess, don't you? Let's see. I guess we just have to guess. Well, there might be a chance that we release some smoke, but hopefully not. All right, let me get this screwed on. And to do this, we actually remove the two bolts that hold the front part of the frame together on this one side. You need to print a screen cover, and the one that I printed for the Ender 3 only has a cutout for one of the connectors because the Ender 3 screen board only has one connector on it. But I can throw it into Tinkercad and increase the cutout size. It's a Snap one, which is really nice. Actually, I'm going to go get it. I wonder if it fits. I've got one printed. Reaching way over. Da, 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 da. So this is the one for the Ender 3, and it just has a single notch cut out there. But I'm curious. Yeah, the position of the little beeper hole is the same, and it will just snap on. So I will probably throw one of these into Tinkercad and cut out another spot, and then I'll have a little cover for the back. That really should be something that they include, I think. Oh. Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's get this bolted on. Come on, get in there. You can do it. Why are you not working? You're a screw going into a threaded hole. Do your thing. Okay, really? Come on. Why you gotta be like this? There's one. Wait, what? What the what? What's going on here? Oh, I'm dumb. Well, no, if I'm looking at this right, the other two screws here are for that. There are other holes that are tapped into this assembly, which is why the two frame screws should not have been removed. Hello, RCCNC. Hey, Keith. Thank you for joining. What? These things I thought were spares are not spares. The only thing that doesn't look like a spare now is the nozzle. There's a nozzle on the hot end. All right, let's get this put on. Sorry for my silliness. So it's interesting that this looks like the exact same screen from the Ender 3 and Ender 3 Pro, but it has 3 connectors on the back of it, where the Ender 3 and Pro only have 1. And of the 3 that are on this, it uses 2 of them. There. Now, the screen is in place. Okay. put that nozzle back in the bag. Still need to get the Z end-stop switch attached, and then the filament runout sensor, so that I'll know when I need to run out and get more filament. And I haven't forgotten that I haven't got the screen plugged in yet. So don't holler at me about that. I'm saving that for last because I need to see which connector goes where, because they don't seem to be labeled. Yeah, and I don't know, did they put doesn't have an SD card slot on the screen. The SD card slot is on the front of the printer over here. All right. Plop. Let's figure out where this goes. Sorry about giving you guys a view of the inside of my ear there. Let's bring this down here. I can look over the camera. Is the video working okay right now? Hello, 3D printing llama. Oh, we need to raise the Z. Up, 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 up. Uh-oh. Did I find where that other screw came from? I may have. We'll investigate that in a minute. I'm going to put it over here to remind me. All right, so Z is raised so that I can attach the end stop switch. And I'll just have to kind of eyeball where to put it. Okay. Thanks, Walter. Bring the gantry over here so I can get a little closer. I think right about there is where I want it to be. Then I can adjust from there. And I may have to fine tune the position of that end stop switch just a bit. All right. So the end stop switch is physically in place. Need to plug it in. I should have plugged it in before I put it there because now the connector is kind of hard to get to. I'm after this little guy here. But I can plug into that. Okay, the Z end stop switch is now plugged in. Okay. So this screw, everywhere I put it, it's up against something black, that I found in the box might belong right there. And I don't have a lot of light shining in there, but I'll get a flashlight. and show you. I wonder if that's supposed to be attached right there. Let's move this a little bit more this way. I think there's supposed to be a screw there because there's one on the other side over here. Right there. So, let's see if we can get this screwed in here. Turn it up a little bit more. Get the light back here. I think that's where that went. I am not certain why that was not tightened. And why that was instead loose in the box. Yep, screw fail. I can get that in there and tightened the rest of the way. There we go. That's better. See, that could have potentially been a problem. Anyway, I mentioned the power switch. I like this great big power switch on the side. It's kind of cool. All right, so we still need to get the run out sensor installed, and that goes up on the top of the gantry up here. I'll see if I can do that without sticking my fat head in the way. And it does have a little arrow indicating filament flow direction here, so filament goes through this way. So a spool would be about here, so we'll probably put this about kind of in the middle. Okay, and there. Okay, so the run out sensor is now attached. And then I need to get it connected. So that's this. And I'm guessing that I probably just want to run that up and probably zip tie it around over here someplace. We'll see. Let me spin this around. It's going to go here. Click. I may print some little cable clips or something to keep these tidy so that I don't need zip ties. What kind of hot end, Paul? That's a very good question. And I don't know. I want to say that the extruder on this is like a, I think they said a Titan style or something, because it's got a big gear on it. And it is direct drive. But I don't know what model of hot end it's got. I will probably later, not on this stream, but later, take that shroud off and take a look. I think apart from the screen, I've got all of the electronics hooked up. It looks like a standard Creality type nozzle, so it may be that standard Creality type hot end in there. Yeah, what time you got there, JT? Is it about 10 or 11 a.m.? I think I'm going to grab some Velcro for that filament runout sensor instead of a zip tie. Because I can always reuse the Velcro when I figure out how I want to get that cable situated in its final destination. Yeah, you're not alone in that question. We've been waiting for JTOG to start up again, but I seem to remember that it's supposed to start back up sometime this month, maybe. Okay, so I think we've got everything hooked up. We've got the printer all together. There's part of a sticker or something on one of the extrusions. I'll pick that off later. Okay, we've got the screen in place. All right, I'm going to walk around and plug this thing in. Let me get the power cord. We need to find out if we're going to release any smoke. I'm not going to turn it on yet. I'm going to plug the two screen cables in first. And then I'll plug it in. I need to step around here for a second, where I have a power strip. All right, printer's got power. It's not switched on, but it's got power. Okay, so EXT1 and EXT2 is where these plug in on the screen. And they're not labeled. I think it's EXT1 and EXT2 that they plug into. EXP, not EXT, EXP. But yes, it is 1 and 2. And the connectors themselves are not labeled. So, 1 and 2. All right, well, we'll just try it and see what we get. There's 1. There's 2. I will briefly switch this on, and if I don't get anything on the display, then I will switch it right back off and switch those cables. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Woohoo! I got it right on the first try. All right, so the cooling fan in there is kind of loud. Is that the one here? Nope. That's the cooling fan in the electronics box. That's kind of loud. Well, the click is nice and quiet. And when you turn the knob, there's a nice satisfying click as it clicks into place. All right. Well, I kind of want to make sure that I've got the Z level across both sides, so I'm probably going to raise it up a lot. And I think unlike the Crealities, I can actually move the Z-axis from the control panel here. And the belts seem reasonably tight, so I'm good with the way they are right now. So let's see what we get. I guess I'll rotate this a little bit like this, so we can kind of get it all in frame. Look, there's an old 8-net. There's a Mark III. It's all blurry because I've kind of got the focus set for over here. There. Let's see what we can do. Wait. Move axis, move Z, move by tens. Well, Z moves nicely and quietly. I want to keep an eye on these cables over here so that I don't get anything yanked or anything. This is the biggest printer that I have. So this is kind of neat. I don't have one. I think the Mark III is the biggest in any given dimension. My wheels look worn. Well, no, they don't have any of that white crusty stuff that you sometimes see, that powdery stuff around them. Yeah, it's alive. It's alive! And I'm kind of carefully moving the Z-axis up. I haven't even homed the Z-axis, so I will adjust that in a minute. I'm trying to make sure that I get the two Z motors even on both sides. Because I'm sure there's a little bit of play. I'll check under the bed here in a minute. Is it going to stop before it bottoms out or tops out? Okay, well, it's hit a hard limit of 310. Let me check something. Get my calipers out and make an unscientific measurement. I mean, so far the loudest thing on this printer is the cooling fan in the electronics box. And it's like really loud. Okay. It's at about 58.9. Check on this side, where it's like 54. Yeah, it's definitely sloped down. So I need to raise this other side up a little bit. And I will turn it off to do that. Hello, David Olson. How are you? Okay, we'll lock that there. And I'll just use that as a guide on this side. right, those all seem tight. That seems tight. Turn this on again. Is it an old Mac Mini, JT? One of the kind of taller ones that you can actually get into and work on fairly easily? Set this over here. Yeah, it is kind of ridiculously loud. The hot end fan is actually pretty quiet. No, the LCD display goes on the right. If you mounted it on the left, I think the bed would hit it. Because well, you can't actually mount it on the left. It only mounts on the right. They've got two holes that are tapped for it on the right-hand side over here. And they don't have holes tapped for it over here. Yeah, David Olson, I'm actually having a pretty good time. And I think I've got everything hooked up. I can try homing. You know what, I think I want to take the glass bed off for now. Because if I have miscalculated, I don't want the nozzle to break it before I've even had a chance to print on it. That would suck. So anyway, Robert, if you wanted to mount the LCD on the left, you would probably have to print some kind of an adapter bracket for it. Okay, so that's literally just the glass and the protective sheet. I'm going to peel the protective sheet off. This is the ASMR moment. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound very soothing to me. Set that right there. That is a big sticky piece of plastic. That protective sheet that was on the bed. I'm going to move the bed over here temporarily. All right. And if you want another ASMR moment, I will try and peel the little thing off the screen. I guess you can't really see that. There we go. All right. Let's home Z. Well, let's home everything and see what we get. I'm a little concerned about this cable situation here. I don't think I like the way that's set up, because in actuality this cable mesh or this cable sleeve, some of the little bits of it snagged on one of the bolts that the wheels go through, or that holds the wheels on. So I might replace this with that spiral cable wrap. I like that better. And with the spiral wrap, I can also incorporate some of the, I've got two separate cables that go up here, and I can keep those together at the bottom and just have one pop out and then keep the cable wrap going on the other bit. But so far it's it's not a bad printer. Haven't printed with it yet, but I mean, the mechanics of it seem okay. Just that fan. It's loud, loud, loud. I'm gonna get down here and watch this. Okay. So that stops before the bed, before it gets too close to the bed. The glass plate is about 2.5, 3 millimeters thick. I think I'm going to lower the Z end stop just a smidge. You got a good point, Robert, and I should have done that. I didn't. Let's see where that ends up. Prepare. Move axis. No. Get back out of there. Auto home. I think I want to pull that down a smidgen more. Heath, water cooling your electronics on a printer? That's interesting. I had not considered doing that. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Let's move Z up. Well, I guess I really didn't need to crank it all the way up to 180, but that's where it's headed. We'll pan back artistically as the axis slowly rises. All right. Set the glass back on it. So the glass has some little scratches on it where the clips were. And I'm going to leave the clips sticking out like this. Instead of having them folded over the way they were when it arrived. What do you guys think? Would it be better to have like a big silicone thermal pad thing, one of the, not the heat blocking kind, but the heat transferring kind, in between the aluminum plate and the glass? Or do you think it's okay just having it more or less in direct contact with the bed, the aluminum plate? All right, well, I'm going to test the homing now. And I think, just to be safe, I'm going to put a little piece of paper here. But it is still spring-loaded, so if it does press down, there is a little bit of give. Ooh, that's close. That's within about 2 millimeters where I've got that. So I've got room to adjust upwards and try and get this leveled. Let me turn the steppers off so that I can move the bed into this. And we'll just do a manual leveling real quick. And I want a thinner piece of paper. It's one of the ones that I normally take notes on. I'll kind of do these evenly. Hi, Michael Cassell. Hello, Bill from Sovol. Thanks for the deal on the printer. Is that moving? Yep, there we go. Hey, Jim. Things are going well. Got the printer built. Getting the leveling adjusted on the bed. Hey Bill, I had one issue with this where one of the screws on the back side of this had come loose and was in the box, but I got that reattached. And Bill, right now the only issue or the concern that I've got about the printer is the fan that cools the electronics down in the box here is really loud. And we might want to do something about the wiring. I don't necessarily care for the way that hangs. So we'll see if there's something else that can be done for that. It doesn't seem to take a whole lot of adjustment on these bed leveling knobs to get it to move, which is good. Now I know you've got a BL touch kit coming soon. That would be nice to not have to mess with the leveling knobs. And for those of you who may be wondering, maybe you've got a printer that's already got auto leveling. You might be wondering why I'm going around and around this multiple times to get it leveled. When you adjust one of these, the other ones can also raise or lower a tiny bit. So I kind of go around 4 or 5 times to make the adjustments. Bed leveling. The struggle is real. That feels okay there. A little tight there. That's better. not too bad there. A little tight there. How is it in the middle? It's not too bad. Hey, Sholm. Hi, Carl. You got to keep a level head to get a level bed. All right. Well, let's load some filament. See if we can get something to print. Now, Bill, I haven't built a profile yet for Prusa Slicer, but I may do that while this is printing. Does the card go in upside down or right side up? It goes in upside down. When you insert the SD card, it goes in with the little contacts facing up. Yeah, Robert, the wiring is an issue, I think. Like I said, I'm probably going to replace this mesh with a one of those spiral cable wraps. Feed this through our filament sensor. And apart from my Prusa Mark III, this is the only printer that I have that has, hey Jordan, that has a filament sensor, but that seems a little tight. The filament going through the filament sensor. Raise the Z up a little bit and get some filament loaded. Ah, dude, you got an early morning, Jim. Go to bed. Thank you for coming. Hello, Adam in 3D. Doing. Which way did this lever go? Oh, the lever pulls forward. Okay. All right. That's down in there. Let's adjust that nozzle temperature. Hey Bill, the knob on this screen doesn't always advance the controls with each click as I turn it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. No, it's not going to really show, is it? This is a terrible camera for this. Ah. Oh well, never mind. Anyway, the point is as I'm turning the knob, trying to get the temperature to go up, the temperature value doesn't change with each click as I expect. Sometimes I may have to turn it 3 or 4 clicks to get it to register. Good night, Jim. Thanks for coming. So we are heating the nozzle up to 200 degrees. I wish I had a better camera to be able to show you guys the temperature. We're at 100 degrees. We're halfway there. That's at 180. That should probably be enough to melt some PLA. Aha! When you tested this at the factory, you printed with green. I'm purging out some green PLA. There we go. Another good tool to include, Bill, might be some tweezers. Just for being able to reach in and grab the little filament bits off the nozzle. All right. Let's see what happens when I try printing the XYZ cube. We're going to need to bring the bed up to temperature. Looks like the G code for the cube has the bed going up to 50 degrees. I normally print at 60. I'm going to pull this back a little bit, but keep it low so we can watch. And get that twist out of it. There we go. If y'all are interested, I do have an affiliate link to the printer in the description. It's $299 on Amazon right now. Yeah, Heath, it's not bearings, it's just the sound of the fan blades. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, Heath, I'm probably going to change that fan out. Bill, is this a 24 volt or 12 volt printer? Probably going to have to micro adjust the leveling here just a bit. Okay, we've got a prime line. And we are way too close. Let's back that off. still pretty close. Let's pull that back. I think for a bigger bed like this, a BL Touch is probably something that you really want to have. So I'm guessing we're getting a nice big raft. Yeah, I know, Jake. What am I hitting? Oh. Oh, okay. I am probably going to need to move my Z motor connector, the cable for the right side Z motor, outbound. I've got it coming up from underneath. That's a huge raft. How big is this cube? I'm used to printing 20mm cubes. This thing looks huge. While that is doing that, I am going to create kind of a basic profile for the printer. I don't know, man. That's a 200-gram spool. That's a pretty generous spool for a sample spool. I can probably get at least 2 of those cubes. So still, the loudest thing on this printer is the fan in the electronics box. Now, I know we're not using like silent steppers or anything like that, silent stepper drivers, but the motion is really not that loud. The cube will be dead center and small. The raft is just there so that it can float across the ocean. Okay, y'all, while that is drawing the raft and before I get started on the profile, I need a refill of water. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm back. Did you miss me? Closes on the 7th. That's just a couple of days from now. Y'all go check out Sovol's Facebook page. You might could win one. But that's the same Gleam IO giveaway that I entered, isn't it? I know, Heath. I realized that it probably sounded that way. I've got the water dispenser in the refrigerator. Took a leak and didn't flush. Hey, Jeremy, if you get on Twitter and look back through my tweets, I tweeted about that giveaway. It's a Gleam.io giveaway, if I remember correctly, and I entered mine through Twitter. We're on the third layer of the raft, it looks like. I'm going to lean kind of off camera here just a bit and have a seat and work on the profile. Wait, Jeremy, you're not even on Twitter? I'm not on Instagram. Oh, Michael, yuck. Yuck! All right, let me find the machine specifics. I know. Let me grab my other machine. Where's my laptop bag? Oh, it's out there. I keep stepping over my cables. See, Walter, I'm not like you. You got, I'm sure, a super duper streaming setup. And not a cable out of place. And I'm over here stepping over cables and USB extension cables and all kind of stuff. Well, good early morning to you, Andrew. Y'all bear with me for a minute. I'm going to build a profile for this. And my profile building adventure is going to begin. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let me turn the Wi-Fi off on this. I think that's killing my stream. Maybe? Yeah. Turn Wi-Fi off. Good night, Carl. Thanks for coming by. I think I'm going to build the profile on the machine that's hosting the stream. Because the other one wants to be talking to the internet and synchronizing a bunch of files, and I don't want it doing that while I'm trying to stream. So I'll move that aside. I'm surprised my batteries on my microphone are holding out. Heath, I did like that. That was a cool car. Okay. Let me get into Prusa Slicer. Sovol SV01 is what I will name my profile. It is Marlin based. I know y'all can't see the screen, sorry. Okay, Bill, so X and Y, 280 on the X and 240 on the Y. So what took the longest on it, Heath? Was it the painting or the design work? Well, David, I can answer a couple of those. I know it does have provisions for automatic bed leveling. It has, Sovol sells a BL touch kit for it. They've already got the mounting holes for a bracket on the extruder assembly there, or on the X gantry part that moves back and forth. And they have a different firmware hex file that enables that. I don't know if it's a 32-bit or a 16-bit board. I'm going to say it's probably a 16-bit board. Oh boy, my CPU usage just went way up. Let me tweak this printer just a little bit. Oh boy. How's the stream for the rest of you? Is it still doing okay? Or is it lagging pretty badly? Yeah, CNX, I'm not a fan of rafts either. That's going to be half the print is probably the raft. Good night, Walter. Thanks for coming. David, when